Oh, it just starts right up, huh? Okay, well, we're here now. I was gonna do the normal, like, waiting screen and everything like that, but OBS has some new settings that they use now, and I don't like it at all. And apparently you don't get to test your stream before you start. So here we are, we have started. Welcome. Welcome, if anyone is here right now, welcome very much to the stream. I really appreciate you checking it out. This is a bit impromptu. Basically, I've been wanting to stream for a while. Tried to stream Tinykin, didn't work out at all. That went very poorly. And since then, I've just been working on other stuff and doing other things. And also, it just happens to be a crazy, crazy heat wave right now that I have not been enjoying one bit because I don't have air conditioning, and it's just, there's just like nothing you can do during the day to make it better. Like, you just kind of have to put up with it. And so far, I have not found a way to stay like super motivated and productive just in the heat of the day. So here we are. It's nighttime. It's less hot, but it's very, very humid. So it's still kind of rough. But that's the other thing, is that I haven't been able to sleep well at all because of the heat. And so, kind of nice in a way, because I have a certain amount of energy at night, and that's when I try to get stuff done now. So I'm going to be up for quite a while longer, I think. That's the feeling I have anyway. So here we are. We'll see how long we can go. I'll try to stay hydrated. I hope you try to stay hydrated as well. And I'm also trying to keep an eye on some other people's streams, because a friend of mine is planning to stream Kirby and the Forgotten Land over on Twitch. Sort of at my suggestion. And I'm very excited to check that out too. So we'll see if that comes up, if she goes live while I'm live, or after the fact. I'll put a link in so everybody can check it out. But for the moment, I'm just kind of here. I don't have a ton of stuff planned right now. I thought about doing some drawing, but that would require a bunch of light and a second camera, so I don't think that's really feasible. Are my levels okay, by the way? I think we're okay. The music's a little loud in my headphones, but I think in the mix, it's actually pretty alright. And I'm just here in Steam for some reason. I don't know. You want to shop around Steam with me? Is that relaxing and fun? I like how they have the homepage here is just like stuff not on sale. Oh, there's some sales there, but all this stuff is just like, hey, you want some full price games over here? You want to play Fallout 4 for some reason? It's on Game Pass, isn't it? I do want to play Half-Life Alyx. I'll have to do that at some point. Oh yeah, I did buy Dead by Daylight. I don't really play it at all, but it's there. And then the big news for me is that Death Stranding just got added to PC Game Pass recently. And I've never played it. I know a lot about it. I've seen plenty of reviews and stuff, but never played it. So I'm still in the process of downloading. It's a massive game, so I'll download that and try it out pretty soon. So that's kind of exciting. I don't know. Just the idea of experiencing that for myself, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, look at this new little UI thing they added here. Well, if it would load, but we're supposed to, we get a little preview. Oh, that's pretty nice. Temtem, that's the big news right now. So Temtem, oh boy. I'll make sure it doesn't play anything loud at us here. But Temtem, if you don't know, is basically a Pokemon-style game. Very similar in concept. You creature collect, you fight them, and there's a big world and big challenges you have to face. I think it's been in early access for like forever, for quite a while. And I think it's been getting, well, we can see here, overall, pretty darn positive response. But they just launched the first version, 1.0. And apparently that might be what's getting some, ooh, or maybe that was right before launch. And something else that I'm not crazy about with regard to this game so far is that, well, for one thing, in-app purchases. Thanks so much, great, but it's an MMO, so like it's a big giant online multiplayer game. I don't want that. I'm sure plenty of people do want that from a Pokemon style game or from official Pokemon. I don't think so. That doesn't sound very good to me. Also, it looks like they're doing random encounters. Just like here's an area where you can encounter the Temtem. Eh, I don't know about that. So, I don't know. Battle passes have no Ooh, I mean, I agree with that. Wow, that's battle passes? It's $45? $60 for an MMO Pokemon that won't get any new updates like Temtem or Islands, but they will make battle passes. Wow, that battle passes is not going over well so far. That is quite the decision for that game. Got my coffee here. Anyway, how are you doing? Are you having an okay week? What day is it? It's Tuesday. That's what day it is. I'm sure that I'll do some actual work tomorrow in terms of job stuff. But so far this week, I've just been like dragging. Just haven't been able to get the motivation there. I have been working on videos. That's pretty nice. And in particular, I have plans to do something about Bee and Puppy Cat since I started watching today. I think today is the release date, right, of the Netflix show. Definitely have some thoughts to share, but I haven't finished it yet. It's 16 full fat episodes, and the episodes are between like 20 and 30 minutes, I think, generally. So that's long. That's roughly 8 hours of Bee and Puppy Cat show that we have all of a sudden after years of waiting, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, we can get into it if someone feels like talking about it, but general impressions, non-spoilers, mostly positive. Mostly positive. I really like to have it on, the Bee and Puppy Cat show. I'll say that much. Won't get into story stuff quite yet, but that's the general feeling so far. Tooch is here. How's it going? It's been a while. How are you doing over there? Thank you for the face, the letter face there. I appreciate that. This might be the most casual stream so far ever, which is really saying something for this channel. So is this like a puzzle rail game? Sounds like it. Well, that's that. But yeah, what's up? I guess do I have enough light? I think I have just enough light on my face. It's probably okay. Roguelike deck builder for free? Is it like... Can I just add to wish? Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Why is it free? Oh, it's a Kickstarter. In-app purchases? Are they going to try to get me to buy stuff in there? Have you ever dreamt about a world where you don't need to follow arbitrary rules of your favorite card game? Okay. Like making turns or use a finite amount of mana, energy, AP, or whatever. If you answered yes, then I have a treat for you. Rungor Beginner Experience is heavily inspired by Slay the Spire and Loop Hero. It takes all the good parts from those games and smashes them together until they stick. Okay, man. Just released, didn't it? Okay, well, it's on my wish list. I will take a look, but I like the art. The art looks pretty neat. Deck builders can be okay, even though I never got into like deck building games in real life. That just wasn't part of my childhood experience or anything. Oh my gosh, what else is going on here? I might play something. That would be good. Dude says I'm still really busy at work. We were down 2 people last week and it sucked. Oh yeah, that's the worst. when all of a sudden it's like, do more work. We won't pay you more, but you have to do more work all of a sudden. That's not the most fun. Thankfully, as a freelancer, it's just like the work schedule is all over the place to begin with. So I've kind of gotten used to that sort of thing. But yeah, way back when I worked in like retail and stuff like that, it was always a drag when it was just like, oh, it's busy now. We don't have enough people to deal with it. And yeah, I don't know exactly what your work is anyway. I don't think, but yeah, that sucks. Sorry to hear that, but we'll get through it. We'll get through this one and the next one. How's things going? Dudes, did you get a PS5? Is that what we were talking about? Am I losing track? Is this my library? Wow, this is my library. I feel like this view is new also. It's kind of nice though. But rather than playing something on Steam, I think I'm going to play some what is it called? Unreal Tournament. If I can get the audio right. So give me a minute, because the audio on these older games that I get through GOG are like, it's insane. Like, it's way too loud. So I'm gonna try to protect your ears here. Okay. I'm already messing up my ears. Is this a bad idea? Can I just... Thank you. Can I mess with sound settings and stuff? Yeah, I would like everything to be very low, please. Yeah, like right there. How's that? How's that? Sorry, also I need to fix my view on the thing because it's showing as very low resolution, which is kind of funny. Video. I would like the resolution to be higher, please. We can go 1280. It's the future now. I got 1280 gaming. Is it? It's having a little bit of a tough time. Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, just give me 1 second and I will try to fix this. It's certainly not cooperating very much. We can look at the pig for a while longer. No, not that. I want to change my window capture to... oh no, it's just not showing up. Okay, Unreal Tournament might be unfeasible for some reason, even though I feel like it shouldn't be that hard to stream. It's like a 20-year-old game. So now is it showing up? Nope, it's not. Okay, never mind. We'll quit this one. See, you just try to stream anything, any game, and it's just like, no, get out of here. No, please quit. Quit the game, please. Come on, computer. I mean, it's these compatibility issues that come up trying to run older games on newer systems, you know. But damn, I was looking forward to the weird space sniper level in Unreal Tournament. Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I didn't grow up with Unreal, either the main game or the online stuff. But then recently I was like, you know what? I'd really like to play some old like DOS, Windows 95, Windows 98 stuff. Like I love some tons within that library. And I just never got into it. And I definitely didn't have a computer that could run it back in the day, so it wasn't really an option. But what if we do something in that style that's a little bit more modern? Let's see if this works, and then I'll go back and fix the audio also. Okay. Is this showing up? No, it's not. Wow. OBS is really not impressing me lately. Ooh, did that work? There we go. I'm gonna turn that down even further though, because it's very uncomfortable audio, which is kind of the point. But anyway, this is Cruelty Squad. Did it freeze? Up, 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 up. No, we're good. Okay. Well, you folks can let me know if it's working, because it's not helping me out at all. No? Maybe it's not working. Okay. It's fine here. I think it's just freezing. Why is it doing that? Okay, well, never mind. Never mind. Maybe it's working. Yeah, it was just not displaying quite right, and apparently I suddenly started dropping frames, which is not what I'm hoping for at all. Sorry about that. Well, okay, gosh, anything I try to do. That's okay, we can just hang out for a while. Hang on. Let me get my music back. Let me do some of this. There we go. Now can I bring my display capture back? That's something. And the connection is solid once again. Man, this internet sucks. That's what got in the way of me playing, me streaming Tinykin a while ago. It just wouldn't, the internet connection would just fall off. It was terrible. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't think it's the computer being mad at me. I think it's just the internet connection's so bad. But that's okay. We roll with it. We roll with it. We have a good time. Think we can play like internet games without the stream dying? Does miniclip.com still exist? I honestly want to check now. Miniclip.com. What do we got? It looks like it's kind of broken at this point. Okay, so that's a no. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. Oh, this is nice calming music. Yeah, I like this track. Stream died for a second after you mentioned Miniclip. Man, wow. Yeah, it really did. You know what it is? I guess just anything I open that's connected to the internet just ruins it. Well, that's going to make things significantly harder to stream. What else am I supposed to do then? How about this? How about this? Are we okay? I think the connection's okay now. Yeah. So if I just open any tabs at all, it's like, nope. Nope, sorry. Open Steam? Nah. You don't get to have that. So I'm going to try something here. It'll take a little bit of setup. If I can get it going, then we'll just kind of be set. Also, if it wasn't already clear, it's just a hangout stream, so very low pressure for me, and hopefully also for you. But yeah, what I'm going to try to do now is hook up a second webcam, and if I do that correctly, then I will be able to have I just want to do some drawing, basically. So let me see if I can manage that without everything here getting mad at me. Get my other computer out of the way. But yeah, how's it going? What's up? That's fine. We don't need that right now. And then let me try to get this plugged in somewhere. How about here? No, we're getting there. I'm sure this is great video, by the way. Great footage we're capturing here for posterity. Okay, let's see if we can get this other little webcam working. Okay. Now what do? We go here and we say video capture device. Nope. Nope, not that webcam. I want this webcam. Whoa, too large. Nope. Nope. And don't worry, I'll do some tweaking here to make this footage slightly less terrible. Okay, I'm going to got my notepad here. Got this going. We got our music going. That's nice. I'm gonna grab some light real quick and the iPad, and then we'll be good to go. So give me just 1 second here. In fact, no. Pig for just a second. I'll be right back with all the goods. Okay, how are we doing? Let's see what we got. I'll adjust some settings here so that the camera footage isn't quite so bad. It's also tricky with this webcam because it's super wide angle, so it really captures like more than I need it to capture. Maybe I should hook this up to the let's see, how does that read on screen? It's not great. It's not terrible. No, not that. That's... That's kind of okay. This works for impromptu. I apologize if it just looks insane and half last minute, but it is. That's what we're dealing with right now. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Get rid of display capture here. Where's the pig? I want pig in the background. Cool. Kind of okay is a good description. Yeah, I feel like that's most things. Does this like translate to screen at all? Oh, is it also frozen? There we go. Okay. The screen won't rotate, which is also fun. So I guess just all of my technology today is like, nah. Like, we would rather you didn't. We don't really want you to do much of anything today. Which is fair enough, because that's how I feel most of the time. Close out some programs here. Anyway, yeah, I've been watching Bee and Puppy Cat out on Netflix. So there's that. What else? I watched the first 2 episodes of The Rings of Power, the Amazon Netflix show that is currently receiving all kinds of quote-unquote discourse on the internet. So that is happening also. I have some feelings on the whole situation there, but I might save those for a video. So we'll see about that. Okay, let me just real quick do some more adjusting of the footage here because it is not good. It's all blown out. Is that doing anything for us? Ooh, okay, there we go. Contrast up. And then you can see all my lovely cups and junk that I have on the floor here also. Saturation, well, it shouldn't matter too much. White balance, that matters. What if I do not auto? I'll do auto. Sorry, Ryan says, so high school has been fun. Sorry I haven't been in streams a lot. Freshman year of high school. Hitting me hard. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's no problem. I also just haven't been streaming a lot lately at all. So, so it's a-okay in my book. Yeah, the exposure's rough. Let me see if I can... Whoa. That's all right. Okay. I don't need these here right now. They're just distracting in the frame. Also, sorry about the dust. My goodness. So dusty right now. Are you going to rotate now? That's okay. I'll restart it. But yeah, freshman year of high school, that's exciting. Yeah, I guess school just started up for a lot of people here in the U.S., like within the last couple weeks, right? I feel like we used to go back to school right after Labor Day-ish. So it feels a little bit early when school starts again in like end of August, but I guess that's just how it goes. It's just how it is right now. Do I have something to clean this off? I do. Have a little cloth for the iPad here. Also, if anybody has thoughts on newer iPads and whether or not they're worth it, please let me know, because this is a pretty old iPad Air. It's the iPad Air 2, and it's like just enough to run the latest iOS, but outside of that, it's really not the greatest. So that's sort of an ongoing discussion I have with myself, is whether or not to look at another iPad. Tude says, I'm still rewatching the X-Files on season 7 right now. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know we had talked about the X-Files before, and I still haven't seen it. I forget whether I had found where I could watch it, but I'm also getting to the point with so many of these subscriptions where I just want to buy the shows that I want to watch. Like, I just want to get like DVDs or Blu-rays of the handful of shows that I want to watch and rewatch all the time. So that's kind of what I'm in the market for now. And I'm sure those prices will start to go up because people are realizing I only have insert streaming service here because I watch 1 or 2 shows on it, you know? And it's not worth it to keep paying for that over and over for a lot of people. There we go. Look at that. This is like almost acceptable. This is too bright. That's way too bright. Hold on. I can adjust that. That's okay. I'm half lit, but that's all right. Ryan says, in our film studies class, our first film was Tropic Thunder. It's outdated, but still funny. Been there since August 10th. That's very early in my view. Yeah, okay. Tropic Thunder, really? Okay. What is is there a particular focus to the film class, or is it just general, like, we're going to talk about various aspects of filmmaking and just use any movie as an example? Yeah, that seems like an interesting choice to me. I always get Tropic Thunder mixed up with Pineapple Express as well. So that's just another layer of the confusion, I guess. Toot says, I also just finished playing Spider-Man games on PS5. Oh, nice. So you ended up with a like remastered, and they do like a remaster for next gen for that one, and then it got the PC port. I haven't played those games, so I can't comment too much on that. Okay, so what are we actually drawing here? Yeah, technical pen is fine. Just black, yeah. what this is yet, but we're going to find out. Yeah, this is a good song. There we go. Also, you can definitely hear the fan in the background. Please forgive me for that, but there's just there's no alternative right now. Like, it just has to go. Just have to have that on at all times. I'm not seeing anything quite yet, but we'll get there. What do we got? O2 just clarifying the PS5 and PC versions are the remaster, where they replace the original Peter Parker character model for one that looks more like Tom Holland. That's kind of funny. Okay, so that's the newer version of that. Okay, and then also the X-Files Blu-ray set is out of print in Canada, and the prices are insane. The cheapest I could find is $2.95 for a used copy. It was over 1,000 kilometers away. Wow, that is wild. Yeah, that's too much. That's the other part too, is I've been considering like whether or not it's worth getting the Blu-ray versions of certain shows that I like versus the standard like DVD version. Especially because I don't have like a great TV, like it's fine. So I don't know how much I would appreciate having the Blu-ray versions, but yeah, they get so much more expensive. And like you're saying, if they're out of print, they're just not available anymore. You're just kind of out of luck. And of course, for a lot of these companies that would be producing the physical versions, they don't have the incentive anymore, or they don't think there's an incentive. Because of the streaming stuff. They're just like, oh, no one wants it. We're just gonna, let streaming have it, and we won't waste money on printing the discs. But fact is, it's still a viable option, and it might become more so in the near future. We'll see about that. It's okay, I guess. I kind of like this wrinkle here that I just covered up. Nope, too large an eraser. There we go. Okay. I'll let this sit for a second. Because Ryan says we have a vote over the genre, and then we talk about it, and then there's a test. Okay. All right. That doesn't sound like the worst way to do it at all. Not that I'm an expert in teaching film or anything like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and just genre, so it's not like you're picking out specific movies, although I'm sure there could be a point during the semester where they're like, let's just have a vote. We're just watching one for fun, one that we can just chat about for a while. I could see that being like, just pick a movie. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. Sort of unfortunately, I never actually took a film class anytime. I never took a film class in high school. I don't even know if we had them available. And I never took a film class in college. Not really. I was around a lot of film majors, so we talked a lot about different stuff that they were watching and learning about. But I never took one myself. Outside of one class that was a combination of texts that we had to read and then also movies that we watched in class. One of my favorite classes of all of college, and it was called Modern Grotesque. So the whole concept was just various iterations of the grotesque in books, mostly contemporary writing, more or less, and then film. And boy, oh boy, yeah, I have a bit of a story there, actually, because one of the films that we watched is a Werner Herzog movie called Even Dwarfs Started Small, which, if you can find it, It's quite the experience. It's a weirdo movie for sure. Still quite good. I haven't seen it for a while. But anyway, the bit I wanted to tell, and I guess this is sort of a spoiler, sort of not. There isn't much of a story to it. But anyway, towards the end of the movie, there are all these animals running around. They either like let animals loose from a zoo, or they were being held somewhere and they escape or something. I forget. But there's all these like zoo animals hanging around, including a dead pig that they're hitting with sticks. And then there's a camel, right? So we see this camel, and there's a whole, like, the shot must be like a couple minutes long or something. It's very long. But one of the little people, and by the way, all the actors in the movie are little people, uh, the camel is kneeling. And for a camel, the kneeling position is not comfortable, right? It's a way for someone to get on top of the camel and ride it around. So it's something they're trained to do. And in a lot of cases, if they're trained to do this, they will not stand back up until they've been ordered to stand back up, right? So for the entirety of this shot, this camel is kneeling down, and the camel is clearly very uncomfortable to the point where it's like shifting around. You can see it trying to shift its weight. Like it seems like it's clearly in pain. And the whole time, it's just this flat shot of the camel, and then one of the little people just looking at it and laughing maniacally, just over and over and over and over, and the scene just drags on and on. And it's not that funny. Sorry, I don't mean to chuckle. But while watching this in class, one of my classmates, who was also a friend of mine, just like broke down, like just couldn't take it, and just started crying in the middle of class because like it was just too much, you know. And I understand that for sure. That wasn't my reaction, but that always sticks with me whenever I think of that movie, is just the experience of watching it, and I probably remember that more clearly than basically anything within the movie itself. But there's a lot of stories about the making of that movie too. Like it was a bit of a thing. There was some stuff going on behind the scenes. Sorry, let me catch up though, because Ryan has said Death Note on DVD is like $40 USD, but I watch it other means. I can't say on YouTube. Okay, I mean that's fine. Yeah, if you have your go-to site where you can access this stuff, no problem. That is the way to go in a lot of cases. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen No, I haven't seen Death Note. One of the shows I would definitely purchase outright is Star Trek The Next Generation, of course. I love rewatching that show. It's very easy to rewatch. It's, generally light most of the time, just entertaining, fun ideas. But yeah, that made the transition to, what is it, Paramount Plus, formerly CBS All Access, because they just want all of the Star Trek stuff concentrated there. And I don't like it, especially because Paramount Plus is one of those streaming services that, there are paid tiers that still have ads on them, and the ad breaks are very bad on Paramount Plus. So I just can't. That's just one that I would buy. But yeah, again, in terms of price, I think the full series on Blu-ray is like between $100 and $200. I'd have to double check, and then you can buy like individual seasons for, I don't know, $20-$30 probably. So it's something that I'll probably have to do at some point. But yeah, if I was able to just own the shows that I actually wanted to watch, just a handful of them, I could cancel quite a few subscriptions, I think. I don't need them for all their new content and things, so we'll see. We'll see if I go through with that kind of thing. Get rid of this, I guess. Yeah, so actually another, I think it's one of the behind-the-scenes stories for Even Dwarfs Started Small, is that apparently, for one thing, the way they were running the set, it just sounds like it was really dangerous. but specifically, I guess a lot of the actors, a lot of the cast members were getting injured in various ways during filming. There's a whole part with like a truck that's just set to drive itself in a circle over and over again. Someone maybe got hit by the truck, stuff like that. So Herzog, the director, he said to them at some point, okay, look, guys, like, please be careful. And as an incentive for being really careful and for us not having any more injuries on set, I will jump into a cactus. He said that he would jump into a cactus. And apparently he had to deliver on that. He had to jump into a cactus off a little cliff or something, a little edge or whatever, after filming had wrapped. And he was like pretty badly injured for a while. And I believe it because Herzog has done quite a few crazy things in his career. One of the famous Herzog stories is that he had challenged Errol Morris, famous documentary filmmaker, when Errol Morris was still in school, I guess. They were interacting at various talks and stuff around LA, I assume. And Morris just wasn't making anything. And so Herzog was like, look, man, if you're going to critique all my stuff and blah, 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 and you have all this to say about film, make something already. Like, what are you waiting for? And he made some sort of bet where he was like, okay, if you actually end up making a movie, I'll eat my shoe. So Morris did. Errol Morris made his first documentary titled, I think it's Gates of Heaven, because Days of Heaven is something different. So he made Gates of Heaven, which is about a pet cemetery, I think up here in the San Fernando Valley. It's very good, by the way. You should check it out. And so Herzog once again had to stay true to his word, and he ate his shoe. He cooks it up. Les Blanc, I think, made a little short film about the process of cooking the shoe and everything. I think he ate the shoe like live on stage or something. Anyway, so yeah, he's done a couple things in his time. He's gotten into some business. It's not bad. Jude says in Canada, all of the Star Trek shows are on Crave, one of the top 4 streaming services. I've never even heard of it. All the older shows are also available, are also on Netflix, so they're easily available. That's nice. Yeah, TNG was on Netflix for the longest time. I think now it's like just Voyager, and DS9 might still be on Netflix. I don't know. But TNG's just too popular, so of course CBS/Paramount was like, that's ours still, so we're gonna just take that and put it on our slightly subpar streaming service. So that's what happened there. But yeah, I was very disappointed. I was watching TNG all the time on Netflix since that. Ryan says I'm watching OG Star Trek and OG Mobile Suit Gundam, so that's fun. And yes, I'm watching both in order. Oh wow, I tried watching some of the really early Gundam stuff because if I remember correctly, it started with movies in the 80s first. Is that right? And then they went on to the shows. Tried watching some of that. I didn't finish. And even the original series of Star Trek. Sometimes I'll be in the mood for that. I don't know, sometimes it just feels a little too silly or something, and the lack of budget is extremely apparent, so sometimes that bothers me. But and other times it's charming. You know, it's just a matter of preference, I guess. That's not too bad. I don't know what, again, this is just automatic drawing, so I'm not drawing something specifically, but we'll try to make it look like something. Get rid of that also. It's a little awkward over here. Okay. I also will try to get us some new music because I feel like this loop has been going for way too long. What else do we have for music? I can also make this a little bit larger. There we go. It's not bad. Okay. Also, I got a new keyboard. And I really like it. It's pretty good. What do we have here? Animal Crossing music, classic. Love it. Okay. Cool. Zup says Zup. Zup to you also, Zup. Zup in kind, I say. And welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Thank you for stopping in. How long have I been going? Not too long. I hope I'm not missing my friend's stream. I'll have to check on that. So much dust. Oh my goodness. It's awful. If you do like, oh, that's, I'm still on the eraser. What if you do like this is a planter? And so we have like, you know what I'm saying? Just some kind of sprout. Perhaps this is a bell sprout in its early years. And then, of course, we'd have to erase down here. I don't know. Anyway, Ryan says first Gundam series aired in 1979 in Japan. There you go. So that was the first one, I guess. Yeah, no Gundam for me really. Maybe eventually, but yeah, Evangelion is the one that I had gotten into recently in terms of the mecha stuff and classic anime and all that. And thoroughly enjoyed it. See my video for more details. So there's that. Luke Costello, how's it going, Luke? Thanks for stopping in. Says, saw Star Trek 2, the movie in theaters for the first time this Labor Day. That was right. Wrath of Khan? Not like the, not the second movie of Abrams' Trek, right? From, what, 10 years ago or so? But yeah, if it was Wrath of Khan in the theater, that's awesome. Like, that's definitely one of the good ones. Isn't that the ongoing joke with the original run of Star Trek movies, is that you watch the even-numbered ones? But Wrath of Khan is great. I love how dated Khan and all the, like, his henchmen are, like, his crew. They all have those, like, crazy chest hair outfits and stuff. Oh my gosh, it almost looks like Mad Max stuff or something like that. It's wonderful. I haven't watched that for a while, though. I don't think I've ever watched all of the Star Trek movies. I've maybe seen like half, I'll say. What do we want here? Gosh, no. Something that'll really blend. Does acrylic blend okay? Go here, we change this just to something else so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, this is here. Okay, wait a minute. No, I want this to be under the other stuff. Gosh, I like how it looks though. That's not bad. Just fill this in real quick, and then I can try some shading and such. I'm gonna lose all this. I don't know what the no. That one. Eraser. Yep. Thank you. I don't know what these other lines are doing. I don't think they're helping us out too much. Just a simple shape here would be nice. Yeah. I'm not using this other stuff at all, so a simple spherical kind of shape is fine by me. Okay, and now we can go back to the paint layer there and back to that. Okay, smaller brush there. Sorry, let me catch up here. I think there are a couple more messages. Ryan says, my French teacher went to Woodstock 99. Oh my goodness. I actually haven't watched that documentary yet, but I hear so much about it. and I don't feel like I want to watch the documentary. Um, but good on your French teacher for surviving. That's I feel like it's a war story or something to be like, yeah, I was there. You have like the T-shirt. You're like, yeah, check it out. I did it. That's great. How's French going? I took French for a little while, but retained very little. Un petit peu, as we say. And Luke, yeah, clarifies that it was Wrath of Khan and not the like newer one stuff. My professor told me to go. That's cool. Yeah, in general, really, if you have an opportunity to see like a classic movie in an actual theater as opposed to just at home or whatever, especially if they're showing it on film, um, just do it. Like just go ahead and do it as long as it's not outrageously expensive. Um, it's definitely something to try. But yeah, especially film showings. Like that was the way that I first saw what's it called, Lawrence of Arabia, and that was a movie that I'd always heard of, for a long time. I was like, oh yeah, I know it's a classic, whatever. I don't really care. But yeah, it turns out that a theater nearby was doing specifically a 70 millimeter showing of it. And for one thing, it's what, like 3 hours or something like that, and then 70 millimeter, so it's a larger film format, and you have to actually just have a much larger physical screen to show it on, or it just doesn't work. So it's on this massive screen, and thankfully I was like real close to the screen too. So you're just wrapped around the desert is all around you. The sound was great. But yeah, basically any classics, anything you're interested in that they're actually showing in a theater instead of just seeing it at home, definitely worth it in my book. But yeah, Khan would be great. I don't think I've seen any of the Star Trek movies in the theater. Not even the new ones. I didn't really care about those at the time, I guess. Okay, I'll find a way to blend that for now. It just kind of looks strange. Lawrence of Arabia, aka the reason Star Wars is a thing. I mean, a big part of it for sure. Also, just in terms of like other inspirations, tons of Kurosawa stuff, of course, was a big, huge influence on not only Star Wars but also a ton of Western movies. Were pretty heavily based on the old samurai movies and Kurosawa's work. But what is it? What Spider Throne Castle? What's the Kurosawa movie that was like the direct inspiration for A New Hope? I forget. There are a couple different titles for that movie too, so I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Anyway, but yeah, Lawrence of Arabia is real good. It's very good, except for the brown face stuff going on, which is not as good. Speaking of the Star Wars connection, oh my goodness. Is this one good for blending? Let's find out. Large, what do we got? No, I want it to, I don't know. I don't know, we'll see. We're just messing around, we're having fun. Does that look like clay pot colored to you? Kinda, right? Maybe I should give up on this one. I'm not super inspired by whatever weird planter thing this is. Yeah, let's give up. On to the next one. There's Comey from the Comey video. Wonderful. One of my best. Let's do a nice 16:9 ratio here. And go back to my pen, please. Pen in blue, I guess. Boop, 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 boop. Jude says I watched The Irishman in a theater. No idea if it was film or digital. That's fair. I'm guessing most showings for that one were just digital production. Which isn't like, it's not bad either, especially for modern stuff. Like digital production is just superior in so many ways. However, as it turns out, just in terms of like raw horsepower and resolution, I think 35 millimeter film is capable of like roughly 6K to 8K resolution, maybe. I'd have to double check on that. And then as you go up, like 70 millimeter is capable of a much higher resolution. Um, but yeah, it's just because it holds up well over time because it's like a sort of kind of organic, continuous material, as opposed to digital stuff, which is always composed of tiny little pixels. So it's possible to notice those separate from each other if you really zoom in, whereas film is really just one continuous object, I guess, in a way. Um, but yeah, if you can see stuff on film, it can be nice for older stuff. And in particular, there's a place here in town. I don't think I've talked about it before on the channel in any capacity, though I could be wrong. I also don't like telling too many people about it. But Tarantino has a theater here in town that he just bought, and I think he actually bought a second one a little while ago. But there's one that he bought here that's not super far from where I live, and it used to be an old grindhouse theater in like the 60s, 70s ish. I forget when he purchased it, but yeah, fixed it up a decent amount, and they have an incredible schedule of stuff that they show, and they exclusively show films in 35 millimeter. Which I'm sure limits them in plenty of ways too, because they have to get access to all these movies on 35 millimeter prints. But that's a great spot. Like the ticket prices are super cheap, and the concessions are super cheap because he just doesn't care. He's got plenty of money. And then yeah, every once in a while he'll just like show up to a screening because he feels like it. So it's a really fun place to go. Yeah, I've seen some really good stuff there. I think I saw Long Goodbye there once, and Elliot Gould came to the screening, which was nice. I don't know if he stayed for the whole thing or not, but it was cool of him to go. And obviously, it's a great movie. Ryan says, "How do you feel about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?" Yeah, so I actually saw that come up, and I guess the biggest, the strangest aspect there is just the fact that it is indeed like officially licensed in some capacity. Like you can't legally, you can't just say I'm using a trademarked thing and just hope it'll work out. So that was indeed shocking. Like I don't know if Disney holds those rights entirely. Probably not. I feel like some estate of A.A. Milne or something actually owns the full rights to Winnie the Pooh. So maybe it was them who made that call. I don't know. I also don't feel like whoever was making the movie and wanted to make it could have offered that much money, really. Like it doesn't look like a very high budget production in the least. It just looks kind of like a cheap, straightforward horror movie. So I'm kind of confused by its existence, and after watching the trailer, still a little bit confused, but also just, I don't know. It was the first trailer too, but they really didn't want to show Winnie the Pooh and Piglet yet. They're clearly like trying to milk that and be like, this is the whole reason you're going to see the movie, is to see what kind of weird, messed up, face and prosthetics and makeup we give them. So we just don't get to see that. They're just not there. Or they're there, rather, but in shadow. They're only there for a couple seconds and stuff. So silly, but like silly in the same way that those... there was that trend 10 years ago or so of like historical figures and or just old books and stuff, but make it weird. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, or Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which I never actually saw. There was some kind of Edgar Allan Poe movie in the same style. So, it's not exactly new, the concept, but I don't know. I'm not super motivated to watch the thing. I don't really have high hopes for, what it's going to be as a finished product. So that's about it. But how do you folks feel about it? And if you haven't watched the trailer, feel free to check that out. Dude says I'm so jealous right now. Of which? Of which part? Yeah, nothing. None of the smearing tools are really working out for me. I don't like how any of those look. What do we do here? This has got to be some of the worst visual work that I've done in a while. And I don't know. I guess I just don't have any ideas right now. Or the fact that I'm streaming is like, you know, adding another layer of distraction to it, I'm sure. But still, like, this is... What is this? This is junk. This is just bad. Yeah, like what? What? I don't see anything in this. I don't see anything of interest. Unless we make it a guy. Let's make it a guy. That's his face now. And then I need this layer here. And I need another layer for some sketch type stuff. And then here we'll do like... This will be like his roughly shirt. There you go. Yeah, and then we'll do some silly, like, thin line pen stuff on top. Blackburn's okay. Let's use technical pen. Yeah, let's just use a version of black. Even that's a little too thick. This is his shirt, of course. That eye placement, what is that? He's very snooty, if you can tell. No, I want the mouth over here, I think. No, it looks like he's smiling. There we go. Now we're doing something. No, Winnie the Pooh is in the public domain. Well, there you go. All right. Yeah, so what Disney probably has the rights to then is like the specific animated properties of Winnie the Pooh, which are much later. That was what, 60s, 70s? I forget who animated those, but anyway, that would make sense that would be like a separate entity to just the characters in the world and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. But yeah, it is very old, so it makes sense it's in public domain. 2 says Tarantino Theater in my city will never be cool enough to have something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I think it's just the fact that it happens to be LA. You know, like these theaters exist, and Tarantino happens to live here some of the time. I'm sure he has plenty of residences wherever. But yeah, so it's just the location, and we know that Tarantino really like romanticizes LA in general, right? Like we all saw I think we all saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? He really just loves the locations and the history and the ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of makes sense from that angle. No. There we go. Something now. Luke says they own the version with the red shirt. If he doesn't wear a red shirt, it's public, the court said, or something. That's actually pretty interesting. Thank you for explaining that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it makes sense, I guess. Just a particular iteration of Winnie the Pooh. They're like, yeah, this is everybody's now. How does this look as a blending tool? Does this look okay? I mean, it certainly does blend, doesn't it? Definitely improves clarity. This is just splotchy. Yeah, just like splotchy stuff. That's not bad. I'll have to remember this brush is pretty good for smudging things. What can we do with the cape, do you think? Now I want to go back to this. Yeah, let's try that. Is this where the light source is, I guess? Okay, and then we do the smudgy stuff. Oh, getting a little translucent there. Okay. I'm getting closer to liking this. Anyway. Toot says, I live in the city where Ted Cruz was born. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm sure that's not the only claim to fame, but certainly as a claim to fame, it's not the best. At least personally. Not that I want to get super into his shenanigans, but you know, there you go. Yeah, so let's define. It's kind of tough with the mic placement here. Okay. Is this even on camera? Yeah, sorry the video's so bad, but oh, whoa. Wrong brush. Let me switch to Blackburn. I really like the Blackburn brush. There we go. I'll fix that. And I think we're doing like weight more on this side. So thicken that up there. And also here. Something. Too much. Okay. Here is a guy. Trying to do some like little wrinkles and things, but I'm not very good at that stuff, so. Just kind of looks like nonsense. That's okay. Luke says, where did you learn video editing? Well, I didn't, actually. I'm more or less self-taught. And I'll talk a little bit about that, but then I think more importantly, I'll just move on to like where you can learn about that kind of stuff, because I feel like that's the more important point to make. But anyway, yeah, no, I didn't do any video editing for the longest time. When I was growing up, one of my brothers was into video editing stuff and like just making videos and stuff, camera things, media club, things of that nature. He had the Adobe suite, so he was working with Premiere or whatever it was called at the time. I feel like it was called something else before Premiere. Anyway, so he was doing a bunch of that, so it was around. I was aware of some of the tools, but never actually tried any of that stuff at all. And then, yeah, it was shortly after I moved to LA in 2016 where I was working on some animation stuff. And I didn't know how to animate either. It was just something I was doing for fun and trying my best at, basically. And yeah, so anyway, from there, I just needed some kind of software to throw everything together and compile it as a video. And I wound up with a copy of Premiere, which was nice. It's relatively easy to learn as well, especially for basic editing, just like making cuts and transitions and adding text and stuff like that. So that was my first experience. There were a couple challenges along the way there. But yeah, it was from that point on, every once in a while, I would mess around with it just for fun or try some other animation. And then eventually try making videos and stuff. So yeah, it's just been an ongoing thing that I've tried to learn more about. In essence, it's not super complicated, but it can be when you want to get into like more advanced effects stuff, especially like After Effects work and advanced like keying and masking stuff, blah blah blah. However, definitely tons of resources now, a lot more resources than were available when I was growing up, especially just online. Like you can find anybody willing to teach you anything about video editing at the drop of a hat, and most of them will do it for free in the form of a YouTube video or whatever else, an article or something like that. Yeah, so thankfully it's not that hard now if you have access to the software in some form and if you're willing to put in some time. And also personally, I'm not super good at it, but I feel like I'm capable of doing a lot of the stuff that I want to do with it. So that feels good, at least, I guess. But yeah, no classes or anything like that. No big lessons or anything. What else do we do with our gentleman here? Maybe some kind of background or something? I don't know. I do like the expression. I relate to that on some level. No, I don't know. Anyway. Two says, we're also famous for a huge yearly rodeo festival. Oh, that kind of sounds fun. And our main arena is shaped like the brim of a cowboy hat. It is a cultural wasteland. Hey, now don't say that. I mean, it's just a culture that you're not super into, you know? But I understand that, especially like, you know, there are certain things that I'm not crazy about, you know, where I grew up or the different places that I grew up. But yeah, specifically rodeo cowboy vibes. It's not necessarily my go-to, but it is a thing. Plenty of people are into that. You know, that's fine. I mean, some of the rodeo stuff can come across as a little questionable. Can come across like sort of animal abuse, but sort of not. But I can't really judge. I don't know that much about it. And it is impressive to see. So there's layers there. But I'm sure there's good stuff too. And also just, I don't know, I feel like basically anywhere, with a handful of exceptions, it's possible to find people with similar tastes and everything. But it does take some effort. And in my experiences, in the places where the kind of cultural stuff that you enjoy are not dominant, you can sort of build stronger connections with other people who you happen to sort of gel with. Because there's that sense of like an outsider quality, you know what I mean? There's a sense of like, oh wow, we don't have the same taste as so many other people here, and so it's so exciting to find people who are into what you're into, as opposed to being in a place where everybody's into the same stuff. It doesn't feel all that special to form those connections, at least based on just some of my experiences there. But anyway. That's that. Luke says, trust me, it does one more semester until I'm out of a joint degree in animation and film. Oh, wow. It does get more crazy. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Editing stuff and especially animation itself, yeah, is extremely complex. Especially 3D animation. Oh, my goodness. I I don't think I would dip a toe in. Um, but yeah, anyway. That's cool. Animation and film, that actually sounds like a pretty good double major to me. Toot says, all of the real cowboys live outside of the city, so the festival's mostly just office workers cosplaying as cowboys for a week. Oh my goodness. That sounds like it would be entertaining in a different way. Like, disaster. Like you're just waiting for something to go wrong, right? Oh my goodness. That would be rough. Luke says, try a sophomore year computer animation course. Oh, okay. Rigging your own models makes you want to die. I believe that. Yeah, I mean, even, well, obviously professional animation studios, but even like game studios and stuff, they talk about how they're literally just spending millions of dollars on rigging. Like, because that can be such an important aspect of, like, especially higher budget AAA titles, for it to look realistic or for the models to be able to do what they need to be able to do for the vision to be achieved for the project. Too much, yeah. It's not something that I would really get into. I definitely appreciate that there are people who can do it very well, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, even 3D modeling. Maybe more intuitive tools will be developed at some point. But yeah, I don't know. At the moment, it's very intimidating. Luke says there's no riggers in the market for 3D, all modelers. Everyone in 2D wants to character design. Everyone in 3D wants to model stuff. There's a glut, but I'm walking encyclopedia on that BS. Well, that's cool. No, I mean, it's good to be an encyclopedia on anything. It's good to have the expertise. But yeah, that's interesting. I have heard that before, not just to people in animation, but also just illustrators. Like, character design is like a very, I don't know, like an attractive specialization within that field, right? Like where it's I don't know, creatively stimulating, it's fun, as opposed to some of the more rank and file work that might not be super flashy, but is ultimately important to the finished product. But no, I was never studying visual art stuff at all. So I've had very limited exposure to that on the professional level anyway. Yeah. Although it's funny, I did recently have some painted work in an art show out here, which is a whole story on its own. And I thought the whole situation was just kind of funny. It came up very quickly. And yeah, spur of the moment thing. I was like, I'm not a visual artist, but I'll submit some stuff just for kicks. Got into the show. And the funniest part is that the work sold. All of the work that I had in the show sold to somebody. I really should have asked who bought it, because I would like to know. And I would like to understand why and ask them whether it was a joke. But yeah, that was one of my only experiences with visual art stuff in general, although that's more on the fine art side, I guess, just about done with this fellow. I don't know if I have too many more ideas here with this guy. Could do some shading stuff, could do some more. We could do some coloring, yeah. Let's on the head. I feel like we should do some kind of illusion of shading, because for the moment, the lines are the only element of shading here. I'm not crazy about that. So let's get some desaturated, slightly saturated brush, whatever I was using. Tamar, yeah, I think so. Two says it's not a bad place to live, but its cultural influence on the world has been largely negative. That's fair to say, I've actually heard plenty of people from the UK share a sort of similar sentiment, of like, I appreciate certain elements of our cultural exports, or like our legacy as a country, blah, blah, blah. However, I also understand that that legacy includes like a great deal of, yeah, negative impact, not to mention the whole colonialism thing and all that. So I appreciate, the process of acknowledging real world impact of stuff. So I get that. And I haven't lived there, so I can't comment, but I respect the opinion for sure. Is this what I'm trying to do? I almost like it better not blended, but it's too confusing. It just gets in the way, I guess, of so much of this stuff. Hmm. Okay. Maybe a little bit larger. Ba, 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 ba. Luke says got a chance to meet a grad who worked on Loud House at Nick. That's cool. He said there's barely anyone submitting portfolios for prop design of any kind at any show, CG or 2D. Weird. Okay, so everyone's going to other specializations, I guess. Um, it's kind of funny you mentioned that at Loud House too, because that's one of the last like animated Nickelodeon shows right now, right? Isn't it mostly live action production that they've been doing? Anyway, yeah, Nick is kind of close to me. It's up in Burbank, so I pass it all the time. It's just the main office, I guess. I'm sure they have satellite offices and stuff. Um, but it's funny too because the other week I went to a life drawing class in another neighborhood here, somewhat nearby, and a few different people at that class happened to work in animation, and some of them had like fun little Nickelodeon notebooks and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, that's neat." Actually, one of the funniest things I've seen out here was I was at a Five Guys restaurant near the Cartoon Network offices and Nickelodeon offices, which are very close to each other, actually. Um, and you know how like Five Guys and some other restaurants, they let you do little doodles and put them up on the board. And this particular place, all of the doodles were like amazing because it's all like art department people and animation people from the studios. So they just have like spot on perfect SpongeBob's and perfect Loud House characters and all this different stuff. Some Adventure Time stuff. And I was like, man, I kind of want to take some of these because it's just really neat. Yeah. It's a little thin over here. It's kind of nice. Yeah, I think I'll have to work with this stuff some more. The paint mixing, it's all digital, obviously, but that's something I don't have a lot of experience with. Well, SpongeBob and the Patrick Star Show. Oh yeah, that like CG show, which I haven't watched, and Loud House spinoff. Nick Jr. is most of their 2D department at this point, I think. I would believe that. I haven't really been engaged with Nick anything for such a long time, with new Nick properties. Unless we're counting, like, I guess I talked about that Fairly Odd Parents live action show at some point, which is still very confusing to me. But anyway, yeah, quite the choices they're making in terms of production right now. Not ones that I necessarily would have made myself. This brush is kind of nice on its own. Yeah, I should get better at using this because I love the texture. It's almost like a sponge texture. Wait, what does that remind me of? What was I just looking at that had a similar look? Oh, Tinykin. You can see my video on Tinykin. Yeah, a lot of the textures in Tinykin, it almost has like a sponge painted texture to it, especially around the edges, and I love how it looks. It looks so cool. It looks really great. Tinykin in general, man, the art direction on that game. Woof. Kind of intimidating and just how cool it is. I'm going to blend this more and let the other side maintain that texture. I really like... Oh, crashed. Procreate crashed. Again, pretty old iPad. So it can't quite hold its own when we get into bigger files and such. Wow, it really crashed. My goodness. Come on, bud. Come on. Jude says, is it possible to vertically flip the image of the iPad? Like, would you like it from a different view? Like, would it be better from here? Let me see. I also haven't been paying attention to the actual footage I'm streaming for a while either. Oh, it's having trouble now. Oh boy. Oh, it's really having trouble. Okay. We're gonna do a quick restart on this guy, but it might be dying. Might be dying once and for all. The camera feed, I mean, it's been up. This one of me, it's been upside down the whole time. Oh, that's just how the camera's orientated. Yeah, I don't know if there is a way for me to flip the image from that camera. Let me see. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Let me see. I don't think so. There's this. Oh. That looks right. Yeah, let's try that. Luke says, are you in OBS? Yeah, just regular OBS. But yeah, that seems fine. Seems alright. Still not the best. Yeah, it's a wide angle lens too. So it's capturing more than I want it to. But I don't really have, like, it would be really cool, like right here. But I need like a little tripod or something for that. Something else I can try. Yeah, you figured I was going to help. Thank you very much, Luke. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really struggling. But yeah, if the iPad's dead, I won't try it. But something else I can do and that I've done in the past, come on, man, is just plug it into the capture card. So I have an adapter. It's Thunderbolt to HDMI, or, you know, display out, basically. So yeah, that goes to HDMI, which goes on the capture card. So that just gets the actual image, you know, directly off the iPad. However, it's kind of broken, and it never gets the aspect ratio quite right. So it's a whole thing. But in the meantime, I'll disable this for a second while I try to get the iPad fixed, and we can look at this lovely pig. And remember the good times we had with the Babe movies. Do you remember Babe? Or is everyone too here to know what Babe is? Because that was a while ago. That was long before George Miller returned to the Mad Max franchise. What time is it also? Wow, it's like 10 o'clock. Okay. I mean, that's not terrible, but just feel free to let me know if I'm droning on for too long. Ah, yes. But yeah, what have folks been watching? Have folks been playing anything interesting lately? Always love talking about that. Always love getting recommendations for stuff. So, down for that. Okay, iPad. You doing all right? You okay? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, it's still here. Okay, wow. I tried to open that image we were just working on, and it was like, this one's just ruined, so please be careful. It might be corrupted and everything, but it's still here. It's still here. But yeah, you know what? Just for kicks, let me see if I can set up the capture card setup real quick. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and that's fine. But yeah, this has been pretty good. It's kind of a janky cable too, and it also needs its own power source, which is awful. Okay, so here's our HDMI, and then over here we got little aux cable as well. All right. Okay. So I can plug this in here. There's that. And then this goes in Thunderbolt. Flip, please. Thank you. Ugh. Okay. Flip that around there. And then good old Elgato. It's over here. Oh, I feel like I unplugged the cable I need for it a while ago. Here it is. Everything's tangled up. Yep. There you go. Not too bad. Toot says, I watched Babe a few years after it came out. I remember pretty much nothing. Really? You don't remember, like, the talking animals at all? Or, like, the weird, violent undertone of the whole thing? Um, there was, there was a lot going on in that movie. Oh, my goodness. And I'm sure it was based on something or other, but it always just felt like a weird homage to Charlotte's Web, but it wasn't Charlotte's Web. It's a pretty weird movie. I don't know if I ever saw the sequel, Babe, Pig in the City, I think it's called, right? I don't think I ever saw that one. Hang on. You got it. Oh, sorry, microphone. Come on. Oh my goodness. Ah. Can you tell I have a really easy to access and ergonomic setup at my desk? All right. What do you think, Elgato? Do you want to work today? Let's give it a shot. Yes, it's a video capture device. I'm going to call this source iPad. Elgato. Okay. Custom. Now we're going to try to do the aspect ratio that I actually want. Is it there now? Nope. Yeah, so this is the tricky part as well, is sometimes the Elgato's just like, nah. Oh. Okay, well here we are. And as I mentioned earlier, it's just the wrong aspect ratio. Like, it's stretched. It's like awkwardly stretched. I'm sure I could fix that if I really dove into settings. But you know what? It's okay. And I probably won't be streaming for a super long time. So, yeah. There's that. But hey, look, now we got it. You can actually see to a decent degree. So there we go. Toots says, like the image better now. Great, thank you. Yeah, it doesn't have all that awful visual noise from this like $20 webcam I was using for it. So it's decidedly better. But as for this gentleman, we're probably just about finished with him. I no longer feel inspired by his despondent gaze. But yeah, let's mess around with that brush on something new, because I really like that brush, and I want to see what we can do with it. Yeah, 1920 1080. Lucas says, I recently rewatched Akira. Well, for one thing, welcome back, Lucas. It's good to see you. We did get around to seeing it, where it's just like, okay, just the technical proficiency, obviously, of the work is fantastic. There's so much happening. The complexity. Yeah. Oh, wait. No. Different layer. Okay. There we go. Oh, nice. And it also has this, like, translucent thing going on. We can work with that. We can do some fun things with that. Okay. Yeah, and then we could have this, like orbit. Yeah, okay. Something. I'll bring that back up just so I don't forget. Okay. He's thick with 3C. Stream died. Is it really? It says I'm live. Are we okay? Somebody let me know if it's back here. It says I'm still going. Says 0 stopped, just dropped frames. It's working now, but it was dead for about a minute. Oh my gosh, sorry about that. It doesn't say that I had any issues, so it's very strange. But again, I would probably blame it on my internet connection, which is all over the place. Thank you, Verizon 5G home internet. It's the least reliable connection I think I've ever had. Maybe green? Can we do like a mint? There we go. Anyway, sorry about that or any of the technical stuff. Yeah, just nothing's been cooperating lately. I promise I do know what I'm doing most of the time with this stuff, but it just hasn't been very good. I don't know. Will that get us what we want? Let's try. Okay. And then we do our little low opacity orbit here, or whatever this is. Okay. I also want to do a background real quick. Okay. Cool. Cool. Background color. I mean, I tend to do a lot of just like off-white, yellowy off-whites for backgrounds. And we can see if that'll work here. That's kind of what the background already looks like. We crank this up. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. Except for how it plays with some of our low opacity stuff. I'm not crazy about that. Well, let's just make it solid. Yeah. Okay. Even larger. Yeah. Okay. It's fine. It's okay, I guess. We could give it some kind of depth or variation or something. So let's just do like some of these on the one side, more on the one side, and then we do our blending with a very large brush. Very large brush. Not crazy about that. Do you draw sad clowns? Is that a suggestion? Is this a request? In general, I don't think I ever have. So there's that. That's one answer. You know what? I hope she doesn't mind me mention. I don't know why she would mind, but actually, apparently, my mom was into clowns, like either growing up or when she was a young adult or something. So it was like when we would break out like various Christmas decorations and stuff like that, she would have like a bunch of clown stuff. And specifically, she had this whole little Christmas tree set where there were like every single little ornament was a different clown, and they were all in the same like style and the same scale and everything. So it must have been some kind of package deal. But in retrospect, I just thought that was the funniest thing, because like clowns, the PR of clowns has been so negative for so long, that I just found it amusing that, you know, there was some kind of holdover, and I never even asked why like she was into that. But I do think it's pretty funny. I want that to be more rounded. Okay. Great. The iPad is not having it today. It's like, we're done. We've done enough of this. Okay. Well, we got eyes. You always seem like the type of person who would draw sad clowns to me. Well, thank you, maybe. I don't think it was meant to be a compliment or an insult or anything, but I do appreciate the comment. Do I have more coffee? I have a little bit more coffee. Okay, well, we need these to be on some kind of head. This is what I default to so often. It's just like some kind of face, some kind of creature, and it's starting to get old. It's like just to me, and I'm sure it's getting old to other people too. But I don't know. It definitely is a quick path to making your thing look like something instead of just like crazy abstract nonsense all the time. There we go. That's not bad. I mean, it certainly helps out with clarity again here, right? We can actually see what's happening with all these other lines and marks. And then now I'm going to try to smear some of these like orbiting marks just to see what that looks like. Because for now I feel like they're too dominating or something. Okay, I have this one selected. Should have put them on the on the same layer, but I didn't. What if we... We'll see, but so far I'm not crazy about this. Now it just kind of looks like blobby yellow smudges everywhere. Well, sort of gives some illusion of depth, I guess. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should throw some more of that, like, actual yellow in here so that I have more to work with. Let's try that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Okay. There we go. That should be a little bit better for us. Okay, we'll do this one. But yeah, now I'll have to like specifically try to do some sad clowns, I guess. That'll be my next like study. It's a bunch of sad clowns. Yeah, it's something. I've been saying that. I think I've been saying that a lot tonight. Sorry, the coffee really messes up my throat. That would be an issue if I ever actually got into like voiceover stuff or something like that. I would not be able to drink as much coffee as I usually do. It's really bad. Toots asks how much would it cost to commission a sad clown piece. Honestly, that depends. I almost made the joke, how much you got, but no, that's not what I was going to say. I was just going to say it would depend on what the medium is, you know? Like if it's digital art, something like this that I can do and revise pretty easily, I'd happily do that for relatively little, you know? I think that'd actually be kind of fun. But if it was like actual paint, I tend to use like wash or oils or something like that. I think it would cost more just because it gets expensive to buy the materials, and I don't always have the money to buy new art supply stuff. But we'll see. I'll practice my sad clowns a bit first before we get into that territory. Yeah, it's okay. It actually looks sort of similar to... This was forever ago I was doing some of this stuff. But I actually kind of like some of these pieces where it's just super flat color. It's all just a single color per layer. But I was using pretty similar palettes for a lot of them. And for some of them, even further back, apparently. Wow, way far back. This one's kind of neat, I guess, just for some of the variation of shapes and things. But some of this stuff I actually really like. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's junk. But like this, I like this little owl guy. I think it's actually a nice look, and I do like the palettes for these a lot. But yeah, it's just the simplest stuff, you know, that I can do relatively quickly. And this is a much more smudgy, painterly looking version of that, basically. It's okay, though. I don't know. It's not the worst thing I've done. That prize probably goes to some of the stuff I was making, like, middle school. Can I... Yeah, the smudge can also have lowered opacity. That's nice. Ah. Aha. Almost looks like a chalkboard background with this color green. Okay. It's fine. What does it look like when I smear it 100% opacity? This is what I should have been doing the whole time. God damn it. Sorry to cuss. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to smear 100% opacity because then you get the texture of the brush on everything. Well, now we know, I guess. Sorry, I'm just getting a little dry on. I didn't know physical media was an option. Of course, I would prefer that. There you go. Yeah, no, it's something I've been learning, and I need to stress, especially because this is just going on the internet, where many people can see it, including people who are proficient in the visual arts and have actually studied the visual arts and all that, maybe even professionals in that field. I really have to stress that I have no idea what I'm doing with this stuff. I really just do it because I enjoy it. Um, and this has been a thing over the last 3 or 4 years at least, where I've actually been trying to actively learn more about the way you're supposed to do things in visual arts, illustration, just line work, shape, composition, all that stuff. It's been a very slow process because it's yet another thing where I'm mostly self-taught, and then some very generous friends of mine who know more about it every once in a while will try to give me lessons on things, which I really appreciate. But anyway, that was all to serve as an intro to. I'm finally trying to work more with actual physical media, and just, yeah, the different types of paints and such. And I really do enjoy it, but boy, oh boy, is it more difficult. It is. You really have to know what you're doing, and you really have to spend a decent amount of money just to get your practice in, just to try something out and see how it responds. Uh, so I've been doing that for a while, and lately I've been trying to, yeah, more oils and such, which are crazy expensive, and gouache, which I really like. I should probably do some more gouache. Um, Never good with actual watercolors, like the cake watercolors. Although I've been watching a very good YouTuber, he's very famous, but it's called Watercolors with Shibasaki, and it's this Japanese guy, slightly older dude, and that he just does watercolors, and he has an incredibly pleasant on-screen presence. He's very friendly, he's very kind and calm, and yeah, he's done some really great work of just like being very open and accepting of people wanting to learn how to use the materials. So his stuff has been great for just learning a few things. Um, but uh, but yeah, it's a slow process for sure. Um, it's okay. But yeah, Procreate in itself is just excellent. It's yet another thing that some folks recommended to me, and it's obviously not the real thing, but in imitating the real thing and giving you a chance to practice, it's pretty excellent. And cheap, $10, right? I think it's still like $10 just to buy it. It's not a subscription. Boy, if it turns into a subscription, I would hate that. I would be upset. Yeah, just some variation there. A little bit. Hmm. Eh. Wow, I've got all this Animal Crossing music going. I haven't played Animal Crossing in the longest time. My poor villagers are like, where'd he go? He said he was going to come to my house for a party, and he just never showed. Man, I really fell off that game long, long time ago. Oh, oh my goodness. Anyway. Um, okay. All right. Let's do like a bridge. This guy's eyes are connected. It's fine. It's natural for whatever species it is. Now we're losing that. just don't have enough color there. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I actually have too much stuff to play lately, and just not putting the time into it because I always feel like I should be doing something else. But yeah, playing a bunch of stuff. Tinykin, obviously, and I made the video, and I like that video pretty well, actually. But that was great. Cult of the Lamb I bought and never really put much time into, so I should do that at some point. Bear and Breakfast even I got. What was that, end of July? Maybe put half an hour into that so far. Like, I can't just let this stuff sit. And then last night I was telling somebody the story that I accidentally, kind of accidentally won an eBay auction for, it was a set. It's a Japanese Game Boy Advance and then 6 Japanese carts for GBA. And I never had a GBA growing up. I stopped at Game Boy Color, and even that one that was bought by like a relative, a sort of distant relative, who didn't know that my parents weren't big into video games. But anyway, GBA rolled around, and they were like, no, we're not going to spend, a bunch more money on the next one that comes out a few years later. So never played GBA. Has an incredible library. So, yeah, it was just kind of like a weird nostalgia purchase, I guess. But I really didn't think I was going to win it. I know those are pretty sought after. Did win it for a decent price. So we're going to get some Japanese game carts coming in the console at some point. And I still don't know what all they are. Some of them are obvious. It's like Mario and Donkey Kong, and then other ones it's like I have no idea what that says. So we're just gonna have to find out what game it is once we start up. That'll be interesting. Sorry, just 1 second here. Today the 6th? Yes. Okay. Okie doke. Sorry, I had to sort through some notifications here. Missed them all. Anyway, yeah, I'll probably wrap up pretty soon here. Wow, almost 2 hours. That's actually a kind of a longer stream for me. But my gosh, as always, I'm very appreciative of anyone who showed up for the stream live. I also really appreciate anybody watching the archive version of the stream later on. That's awesome. And yeah, honestly, the streams just depend on interest. Like, there's no point to doing it if nobody's, into it. So it's nice to try out every once in a while. Not on a set schedule anymore, but yeah, just whenever we find the time. But yeah, that's about it. Toot says goodnight. Good night to you as well, Toot. Thanks for hanging out for, the whole thing. Wow, very impressive. And yeah, more stuff coming out on the channel very soon. Pretty excited about that. Keep an eye out for those. And guess that's all. Thanks for stopping by.